Welcome inside the GFTV studios for a very special edition of FlashTalk. I'm Dan Griffin. I'm joined with Kent State Athletic Director Randale Richmond as we go through our Play Is One campaign and each of our pillars. And sir, this has been you and your working group's kind of brainchild from the moment you stepped on campus. I remember when you were virtually talking to us about this before this was all said and done. This is something that you've had dreamed of and been working on for a very long time.
Yeah. I want to give a special shout out to Dr. Kathy Wilson, who was our faculty athletics representative at the time, because she cooked a lot of the foundation before we got here as a new regime. But then getting Greg Loss involved, this is an area that he'll have a doctorate in. So put that all together, and with my desire for alignment and having us all on the same marching orders, sharing the same language, having the same purpose and goal, that we can say, okay, what's going to be each individual's role towards getting towards said goal. And I've loved what it's done with all of us together thus far.
And it's really allowed the department to take on an identity, and it served as a blueprint on how we want to get things done. And let's start at the top. It starts with bringing in the people. You mentioned the infrastructure, and the integrity of this group has been key, and it's no joke that it's one of the main pillars. Yeah.
Out the gate, you win with people, right? And you especially win with people of good integrity. This idea of doing things the right way, especially when no one's looking, it's a force multiplier. These things build on top of each other. And the wins that we earn, we are confident will be the wins that we keep. And that's very important for us. And then this idea of trust that gets built when you're dealing with people with high integrity. You know what they say, you can take it to the bank, you can depend upon them. That just builds more trust, which builds a tighter, connected group. So out the gate, integrity and having a transparency to how we do things and why we do them is foundationally important for us getting started.
Well, let's take a deeper look at integrity as we get our episode started.
As we talk in the strategic plan about academic and career development for our student athletes, one of our core missions is to prepare them for life after sport. And having high integrity and being consistent in that integrity is going to be one of the things that has them leaders in their industry.
We're operating in a way that we can all be proud of. It's to our mission, it's to our core, and it's, with the best of intentions at all times. I've always thought of integrity throughout my life as kind of how you act when no one's watching.
To me, integrity is, when no one's looking, how you react. It's important that you're consistent. Like, integrity has to be with consistency, and also, like I said, how you treat your spaces and the respect you provide to those spaces and the people that work in them. And one of the things I first noticed when I got here was the atmosphere here at Kent is that everybody's willing to step in to do things that aren't necessarily in a job description because they care about the place.
One of the ways that we can get that model to our student athletes is by modeling integrity, showing them what we mean by that. When we say something, we do it.
With honesty comes integrity, and with all of that being said, me and my staff, we do follow the rules. We have to follow the rules in order to keep our certification, in order to make sure the student athletes are as healthy and out there on the field like they can be and they should be.
We go out and we campaign to our donors about supporting our student athletes or whatever cause that we have. They are trusting that this is the cause that we're going to apply their funds to. That donor intent is vitally important.
Here at Kent State, we practice donor-centered fundraising, and that means that the donor is driving what we're doing to transform those experiences for our student athletes. We're making sure that we're using donor dollars in the right way. We're funding projects and funding different priorities in line with what our donors have given to.
And what we're here to do is to graduate student athletes, boldly prepare for life after sport, and win championships. So at all times, we have to realize that when we have these finances that come from the universities, when we have our donors who give to our cause, are we applying them in a way that meets our mission and our values? We go out in every battle to come out victorious. Sometimes that doesn't happen. The same thing in life. We're preparing them for life after sport. They're going to engage in things that they wanted really, really bad, and they put all the time in to succeed, and it did not go their way. We don't want them to shut down. We want them to understand that that's just a lesson. Now we improve upon the things that didn't go our way, and we do better the next time.
And sir, the athletic department's mission ends with win championships, and that takes us into our next pillar in competitive excellence, and that goes across the board. We have seen a meteoric rise in some of our sports, like women's lacrosse, literally from the ground up to a MAC championship this season, to continued excellence in several of our other sports as our golf teams have continued their steady domination and just consistent play from pretty much everywhere else across the board.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing time to be here at Kent State. I think Tyler was talking about on the baseball broadcast yesterday, and just all the amazing things that we've been able to experience all together. And the idea is that how you do one thing is how you do everything. So we want our student athletes and our department as a whole honed in and focused on domination. We want to compete and give everything we got, every ounce, because we can live with the results thereafter. And those results have been amazing, great results. It's not just out there on the playing surface, but it's also in the classroom, where we have a cumulative GPA over 3.2 for all of our student athletes. Over 60% of our student athletes were on the dean's list. That's a 3.4 or above. 70% over a 3.0. You see that level of competition that they take in their personal lives, they take in their academic lives, and then you see the yielded results on the playing surfaces. And I can't forget what they do in the community. Us being, again, the #1 MAC school by far in community service, and last year top 5 in the entire country of Division I athletics. I mean, this competitive spirit, it permeates throughout the entire department, and it's important for us. We all want to be a star in our roles, and that yields great results for Kent State University.
Well, let's take a deeper dive into our competitive excellence coming up.
Competitive excellence, that's who we are in intercollegiate athletics. We want to be fierce competitors in everything we do. That's on the playing surface, that's off the playing surface. How you do anything is how you do everything.
You can't be a Division I athlete and a nurse everywhere. You can't be a Division I athlete and be in fashion marketing everywhere. This is a place where you can do both those things and do them really well.
That was something that was really key and important for me when I first committed, was like making sure that I had a school that I also liked my major and like wanted to pursue education alongside of lacrosse.
Trying to schedule as much top tier competition as we can so that our players are tested against some of the best teams and players in the country.
We're offering access to higher education, and the cost of access has gone up. But that's okay. We're going to find a different way to attack that. And a lot of that's going to be with creative ways to get support from our community.
So none of that competitive excellence is happening without the support of our generous donors. And so being able to tell the story of why and how we get that edge competitively across all of our sports is our job, because that then compels those people to support those different programs and those different initiatives.
It's part of our strategic plan because it's part of our mission. Graduate student athletes, boldly prepare for life after sport, and win championships. And that's something we want for all of our teams. At Kent State Athletics, we're going to be known as the best comprehensive athletic program within the Mid-American Conference.
Welcome back inside the GFTV studios. It's a very special Flash Talk. I'm Dan Griffin, alongside Athletic Director Randale Richmond. And, sir, we've done a number of great things here in your time, and we could have this be a 2-hour episode, to be honest with you. But one of the cooler things that we've been able to do has been part of our DEI, and that's
Yes.
the E stands for equity. And
Yes.
one of the big things we did there, with the help of head coach Rob Senderoff on our men's side, is working with the McClendon Fellowship, because we've had 2 dynamite
That's right.
student workers that have come and really jump-started their career athletics. And that's a testament to being able to give them a shot, and then we've done that through the McClendon Fellowship.
Yeah, it's amazing alignment again, right? Kent State University is a university of access and opportunity, leading towards graduation, or what you're going to be doing for your career and how you're going to impact this world. And the McClendon Scholarship, that partnership with the NCAA, again, championed by Rob Senderoff out the gate, and then coordinated by our very own Suzette McQueen. We've had 2 amazing young people work with us, in Calvin and Kristen, and here they are. Calvin's out there working with the Oregon Ducks, got a full-time job, and Kristen working with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Amazing talent the 2 of them were. Thank goodness for Kent State being a spot that saw them, gave them an opportunity, and boy, did we benefit from their time there. It's a beautiful thing when you can create an environment where people want to be a part of. They're going to learn, they're going to grow, and we learn so much from each other within that environment. Again, I say it often, diversity and equity is not some type of charity or crutch. It's a competitive advantage, and we won by having this diverse group and these diverse interactions.
Well, on top of that, we brought in Frank Porter Jr. to help run our DEI, and part of that was a return on inclusion, which forced people
That's right.
to get together that maybe not normally will interact because this is a big department. You may not see everybody all the time, or they may be in another location and you just don't cross paths. But not only are you getting to work with them as these working groups diversified as we went through this, but had to ask some not necessarily tough, but interesting and difficult questions and have some interesting and tough conversations that kind of brought to light a number of issues that brought the department closer as a whole.
That's right. Dan, there's nothing better that we did for connectivity than those working groups. And I love that each topic area we switched up who was going to be a part of your group. And you can see just the insights in the way that people grew up, their vulnerabilities, some of their fears, and you break down these layers. What you ignore, you have no chance to cure or nor fix. So we didn't ignore these hard topics and hard for typically, America hard conversation because they make people uncomfortable. But on the other side of that discomfort is growth. And boy, do I feel like we grew together as a department. Just like you said, because of those interactions, you have somebody from lacrosse with a football coach, wrestling, then you got someone in the business office in compliance. And you're talking about things that aren't job related. You're talking about how we show up as people and the complexities of what has made us who we are and our perspectives that we have. And then you find the commonality through that discussion and conversation. And now we're sharing a heart together. I mean, I tell you what, there was nothing more powerful than that. Props to Frank. He's the right person to oversee that because he's a young man who oversees and sees this country and this world and each individual for the special talents that they all have. So really thankful of that program.
Well, let's take a deeper dive into equity and the McClendon Fellowship with this upcoming video.
The reason I got involved in the McClendon Fellowship was after George Floyd's murder in 2020. Really an awakening for, I think, the world of the racial injustices. For me, I wanted to do something. I couldn't sit on the sidelines and do nothing. It's right around the time that we were putting a new contract together for me, and what I wanted to do was take some of the money that was going to go to me, and instead of it coming to me, it going towards funding this opportunity for a minority. Generally, it's a student athlete, to give them an opportunity to start their career through this fellowship.
You may hear 1,000 no's, but all you need to hear is one yes. Kent State and the McClendon Fellowship, it afforded me with that one yes. And it opened a lot of doors for me to not only network with people within my career field, but to also build relationships.
My name is Kristen Hibbett, and I am the social media and creative content manager here at Kent State University through the McClendon Foundation.
So there are people waiting in the pipeline who are prepared for the next step. They just don't know how to get there. And so the McClendon Fellowship was an opportunity to give ethnic minority candidates a seat there where they can be in those conversations.
I had opportunities to travel to Texas for the Black Student Athlete Summit. I had an opportunity to travel to Las Vegas for NACDA, the NACMA conference, and also I had the opportunity to go to Atlanta for the Black Sports Business Symposium. It afforded me a lot of opportunities to meet a lot of people, shake a lot of hands, and ultimately build my network.
Growing the confidence of my field of PR and the communications industry, as well as trying different avenues, as well as seeing what I like and what I don't like, and then hopefully just continuing to leave my mark in the sports industry.
I know people at all these different schools. I'm happy to make a call for you. Or if you're interested in a job at XYZ, we know people there. We can reach out on your behalf.
I have actually accepted a role at the University of Oregon. I'm in the athletic department. I will actually be the Assistant Director of Student and Community Engagement with a focus on men's basketball, women's basketball, and baseball.
When the McClendon Fellowship is over, I would like to pursue a PR or communications role within basketball operations in the NBA. In these spaces, especially one, I'm African American and I'm a woman. I'm in two very minority, smaller aspects within the sports industry. Having that opportunity through the McClendon Foundation is just, I'm more than appreciative for it, and it's honestly life-changing.
Being a third generation University of Akron graduate, I became the black sheep of my family by coming to Kent State. Suzette, Randale, the whole Kent State athletic staff, they welcomed me with open arms, treated me like I was family from day one, and with that, I will forever be a Flash.
Welcome back inside the GFTV studios, brought to you by Brian Heating and Cooling. This is Flash Talk. I am joined with Athletic Director Randale Richmond. And sir, you mentioned it a little bit earlier in the episode, just the domination that you have in all aspects of being a student athlete. And one of those is service, because the community, and we want to be part of it. And the student athletes are one of the main athletics is the front door, so student athletes are the people that need to do some of that knocking to say hello, and really they've done a great job across the board, whether it be with our elementary schools or we're just finding some different ways to help around the community.
That's right. When we got together, we talked about flooding the community with our positivity and the impressive story that is Kent State Athletics and Kent State University as a whole. And that's not only what our student athletes have done, but starting with our staff and our coaches. We talk about the guiding principle we have: student-centered, coach-led, administrator-supported. That servitude from these administrators, these staff, to our coaches, allow our head coaches the opportunity to be freed up to coach our student athletes, to be there for our student athletes and help grow and develop them. And because of that servitude, we have an amazing student athlete experience, and they're enjoying themselves. And if they enjoy themselves, then they come back. And when they come back, they're developed even more. And you got developed juniors and seniors. You name me any championship team, they were filled with leading by juniors and seniors, right? And that's how we've won our championships. Look at all of our programs who've had that success. So it's this, I always give a shout out to the rapper Big Sean. The energy you give is what you manifest. That energy of servitude really has taken on throughout the department. And that's probably what I'm most proud about, because that has made the experience for our student athletes so rich. And then it's not just in this local community. I mean, we flood downtown, but also nationally. I think wrestling, #1 in community service on the Helper app last year. So was lacrosse. And they dominate each and every team out. And we had a number of teams within the top 5, and that's why we were top 5, in the entire country last year. That is nothing but positive, good energy, and there's a whole bunch of fans and those young kids who are being read to by Kent State student athletes who we have now up at our contest. It just continues to feed a positive force that is Kent State athletics.
I mean, we could only do so much as far as promo videos and flyers to get out to the community. Sometimes it really does take that face-to-face interaction and making that small difference and going, hey, really was a pleasure to help you out here today. Would love to see you at our X, Y, or Z event this weekend. And more often than not, there they are right there. Now you've made a new fan, you've made a new connection.
That's right.
And I mean, that's something special.
Yeah, it is, and it's interesting. Service is one thing that we all know what it feels like when we don't get it. But boy, do we turn and act differently when we do get great service. So making sure we're intentional about that for everyone that we're here to serve as a department, and just to see that flood of energy and that flood of impact has been a really beautiful thing, Dan.
Well, let's take a deeper dive into the community service here at Kent State.
And when we look at the core value of service in the space, this is one of my favorite core values, because I believe myself to be a servant leader. I believe that is the way to lead from out front, serving your people to be the best that they can possibly be to achieve the results that they're looking to achieve.
After the basketball games are over, typically it's been the GAs for advancement are cleaning up the courtside chairs. Suzette popped down there one day and started helping organize chairs. Then all of a sudden, probably 3 more games later, everyone's down there helping get these chairs. So, many hands make light work, but that was kind of that servant leadership embodied, I think. Just, you don't want to ask someone to do something that you wouldn't do yourself. And I think that premise is something, again, I've seen it firsthand. Kent State has done that kind of servant leadership better than a lot of other programs.
So community service is anything that we do within the community, and then it can also be anything that we do within our athletic department that the student athletes volunteer for. I'm trying to think, there's so many different things we do. So many.
As simple as just like food drives, waking up after a early morning practice and doing cards in our locker room for like young foster kids or like old seniors like in nursing homes. So it can be as simple as that, or as like complex as like cleaned out rivers. In the past, we have gone through Habitat for Humanity and like worked on their entire back section. Community service with my team is also like a team bonding. When you're actually working together and like working together towards a good cause, like it's sort of like a shared moment, a shared experience of like not only are we doing something good for our community, but we're also working together to do it.
The football team packed meals. They packed 42,000 meals at the bowl game in an hour. So that was probably one of my favorite things that I got to witness.
We were all having fun while we were doing it too. Like we were all kind of on a bowl trip. Like it kind of, from a distance, it seems like something that would like be kind of tedious, like packing rice into boxes and filling things and stuff like that. But like we were all having so much fun doing it. A, because we were with all of our best friends, and B, because we knew it was going for a good cause.
Some people may say, well, you're asking them to be great academically, be great athletically. So how are they going to have any time to engage in community service? Well, we look at it as something that's going to build them up, something that's going to grow them, and actually help them perform better academically, help them perform better athletically, because there's nothing better in terms of giving to others.
Becoming a great human being, a citizen of this world, is to be selfless, to give to others. When you look at them, the content of their character can't help but come out.
You know, they're choices that our athletes make to get out in the community and serve, and within their time constraints, but also their interests and what pulls at their heartstrings and what they want to get back to and who they want to give to, and their time is valuable, and they know the value add that they're giving to their community by giving that time.
Here, I feel like I'm making a difference in somebody's life when you come to work. So the athletes, you get that back tenfold of what you give out to them. So, and the same with our department. I feel like we're all like in it together, working as a team to a common goal. It doesn't feel like work all the time. It feels like it's just what I do. It's not my job.
And Randale, we'd be remiss if we didn't touch on one of the biggest pillars here at Kent State, and that is the fact that it's family. It's hashtag Flash Family for a reason. Hashtag Flash is forever for a reason. And I mean, as somebody who didn't go to Kent State, this is home.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about family, and I get it, because that's what we all desire, that type of connection and growth and nurturing together. We embody it in every way, shape, and form here at Kent State. Anytime we're talking to recruits who come on visits, hey, what are things you heard of other places? They've heard about family. Now, what do you think about Kent State and the family we have here? As they come on those visits and they begin to see it. You know, case in point, our men's basketball staff. Each one of those coaches have been either players here at Kent State or they coached here at Kent State. That culture that has been built because of that. When we look at how we connect to parents and family as they enter our spaces, they're around, they're present, they're engaged, they're knowledgeable of all the things that we have going on. Each time we have an alumni event, the energy that they bring, the happiness of them seeing each other again. Just had Judy Devine here, and all the people who came out to see Judy Devine at our athletic scholarship auction, and then all the gifts and all the different things given to student athletes because of that. It's understanding the great culture that built this foundation was on family, and really making sure we stay true to that, because we realize how important and powerful it is. And it's really having an impact across campus and in the community. They see that we're all together doing positive things, and it's a beautiful side of a family. And again, we looked at if we have 100 employees, there's 36 plus who are either former GAs, students, or coaches here. We had the boomerang called the Flasherang because they keep coming back, because you cannot find this type of experience, and it's yielded great results and success.
And it comes down to the old adage that it just means more to you when you come back here. Everybody remembers their alma mater, whether that be high school or college, fondly. Yeah. And when you can come back and serve them in a different capacity, in a different role, that's right. It takes that level of effort and that level of meaning that much further.
That's right. Special place. I'm so thankful to be back. My entire family's thankful to be back. And that's why they're so integrated. That's why you see them at every contest. It's integrating and infusing our families into this Kent State family, and it's been nothing but a special ride thus far.
And with that, let's take a look at what hashtag Flash Family really means to all of us here at Kent State.
Family is a core value because we've all been looking for something that connects us together. And if we're connected together, then we're moving forward as one force, one unit, one committed Kent State Flash family. And if you ask me, that's the thing that separates us from all of our other competitors, that family atmosphere.
If you're having a bad day and you need to go into someone's office and you need to cry or you need to laugh, whatever it is, you know who that person is. You know where to find that person. And if that person isn't here, there's always someone else you can usually find.
That was the most discussed core value with our group, believe it or not. It seems like it might be an easy one to see, especially with all the data. But we talked a lot about it because family means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And
we're certainly evolving from the strategic plan. We're getting to a point where we want not only a sense of belonging for our student athletes, but a sense of belonging for our coaches and administrators and staff. We want Kent State to be a destination.
We genuinely care. Have a relationship with the student athletes to talk with them about, hey, how's your day going? How's life going? Are things going good? Are they down? There are things that we can help you out with to make this experience the very best.
I should go to this soccer game like in the spring. Like I got nothing going on this afternoon. Like call 2 or 3 people. Yeah, let's go to this like women's soccer game. Like let's go support some other people. Like always got people that are down to go support the other teams.
Families also create organic moments to celebrate and share an experience. So when we win, we have the victory bell. We have a group of people waiting for that team when they get home to ring that championship bell.
People see that, and that energy and that positivity is felt to our students. And so I think they're excited to be here. People are excited to come back. We want them to come back and buy tickets and support the university, offer our students jobs, talk about Kent State, wear Kent State gear, all those things. We want you to be proud of wearing Kent State on your shirt because you know that that family actually means something, not just words that people say.
When you think of our fight song, We're All Together, getting to see all those faces in person and on screens again and welcome them back into our athletic facilities and back into our events has been so fun, and it's been so positive, and seeing the difference we've been able to make across the entire department just in helping each other and being, supportive members of this Flash family has been inspiring. The atmosphere around here is electric.
And Randale, you were with us for one of the first episodes of Flash Talk, and you're with us for the season finale. So thank you for boomeranging back here within the Flash Talk family.
Yeah, it's been a blessing, man. You all do an amazing job. So thank you for this whole production. And it's helping get the Kent State story out there and bringing positive, good news to a lot of people, because we got a lot of positive, good things going on, and I'm looking forward to those things not stopping anytime soon, Dan.
Well, thank you very much for a few moments of your time. Thank you all for watching all season long, and to the guys behind the cameras who don't get enough credit, Nick and Justin, thank you for dealing with me and having to look at and work with me over the course of this entire semester. We'll be back hopefully in the fall if you guys will have us, and we hope to see you then. For all of us here inside the GFTV studios, this is Dan Griffin saying goodnight and go Flashes.